Hello, and welcome to the Intentional Healing Podcast, the show that dives deep into issues that disrupt the lives of BIPOC folk in urban communities. Because we understand that people from the hood need healing too. We just need to be intentional about it. I'm your host, Veronica Clanton Higgins, and today we are going to define and reclaim our power with a Compton activist, Chris Bailey. Come share wise words and deep thoughts as we connect on a spiritual level. Tap in, y'all. All right, Chris. Hello.
What's going on?
How are you?
Great.
All right. I finally got Chris in the chair, y'all. I'm excited. So welcome. Glad to get you here. Oh, it's been a long time coming. So this is how it works. So the podcast is broken up into two segments, and they're called healing sessions. So the first session is the identity session, where we ask a few questions so that viewers and listeners can get to know you. And then we ask our first segment questions. Then we take a nice break, so probably like a minute. And then we come back and do healing session 2, where we talk about your power and reclaiming your power.
Okay.
All right. Look, I didn't make the last guest cry, right? But I don't like to make people cry. I want you to feel what you want to feel and say what you want to say, okay?
All right.
And look, if you feel like using any kind of colorful words, it's okay. We'll just put a little disclaimer on the podcast description.
I'm going to watch my potty mouth.
I love it. Okay, Chris. So we're about to dive in to help people get to know you better, okay?
All right.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. What is your favorite item that's blue?
Hats.
Hats. And as you can see, he is geared up today. Got the blue on. Okay. All this. Where'd you get this outfit from?
Actually, I designed it and made it. It's one of my items that I sell.
Okay. And where can they buy that at?
ComptonActivist.com, or you can download the app in your app store at Compton Activist. It's more beneficial to download the app.
Download the app, please, because people work hard on these apps. Get the app. All right. I just had to do that plug because whenever you see me in my Compton gear, you always ask, where do I get it from? It's the plug. Okay. What's your favorite song?
Oh, favorite song will probably be Zoom.
Okay. Wait, that's a classic song. Okay. How does it go? I can hear it in my...
I'm going to let you sing it.
No! Wait.
It's E40 did a remake to it.
But I can hear the horns. Dun, dun, dun.
You ain't got it yet?
No.
I would like to fly far away from here.
Okay. Yeah. But who knows how to sing it? Jay, you know how to sing?
Yeah.
I know the song. Okay, now I'm going to have to go listen to it in my car because when you said E40, I remember the beat.
E40 remade it.
E40 just uses all the classic stuff. Shout out to E40. Okay. What is it about that song that you like?
It's talking about getting away from reality.
Yep, I can relate to that. Okay.
And find a place that's, common to you, So a lot of times I find myself listening when I lose a loved one.
Okay.
But for the most part, that's one of my favorites.
Okay, I can dig it. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie would be Goodfellas.
Why the Goodfellas?
I got a infatuation of mafioso type of style.
Okay. And the Goodfellas definitely represent that in that movie. Okay. Do you have a particular scene or line that stands out for you?
Not really.
You know what? We had someone who liked Boys in the Hood earlier. So I'm seeing like the underlying theme of not bravado, but just power that's being demonstrated in different ways in these movies. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a good one. Crew neck or hoodie?
To be honest, my younger days it was hoodie, but now it's more going towards crew neck.
Okay. Get your crew together in the crew neck. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your sign?
Pisces.
You're a Pisces.
Yeah.
Interesting sign. Okay.
Emotion.
Cause Okay, Pisces is a water sign, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
The fish.
I said, yeah, 'cause I know some Pisces, they are very passionate and vocal people, and then they are very emotional at times as well.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. What's an interesting fact about you?
Maybe passionate.
Mm-hmm. But what are you most passionate about?
Right now at this moment, I'm passionate about my city.
Absolutely. And tell me where you're from.
From Compton.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Okay. Here's a good one. What is your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert? I would say yellow cake with chocolate icing.
Classic. And not everybody can make a yellow cake. Because some people, cake don't be moist.
It'd be dry. Yeah, it gotta be moist and buttery. It just gotta melt as soon as it get in there.
Yeah, that means you're using butter, not margarine, because margarine don't.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, a lot of folks don't know the difference between margarine and butter.
Yes, I'm like, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's a price difference too.
That's why $1.99, one is $3.49.
Hey, you gotta get the butter, man.
Please use butter in your desserts. Thank you. Okay. What are 3 words to describe how you feel right now?
Happy. Confused.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say thankful.
All right. That is a nice array of emotions. That's a nice array.
Yeah.
And you know that therapist in me always got to go to that one that's confused. Where's that confusion coming from?
Just life in general. I mean, who don't walk around confused every day?
That's why I drink coffee. It keeps me calm.
Yeah, just confused. Of trying to understand what is it gonna take for people in Compton, since this is a Compton show and we Compton folks, just confused about what is it gonna take for people to get involved and care, you know. So
yep. And that's been a theme for a very long time, whether it is local government, school district, all the different things. What does it take?
Yeah. What does it take? You
know? Yes. Okay. We'll talk about that some more as we go along. Because let me tell you, I ask the same questions and I'm with you.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And it's multi-layered, which means that it's so complex. We don't have like one set answer or solution to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're about to go into, that was just to get to know you. That's the warm up. That's the warm up. So now we get ready to go into the second question. That's just to warm up the vocal cords and let people know you like yellow cake, but it got to be made with butter. So now we're going to go into our healing session where we're looking at you and how you see things.
Yeah.
So what are some things people seem to misunderstand about you?
My aggression.
Okay. So what about your aggression do you feel is misunderstood?
Just probably strong for some, but it's not I would want to say it's not like a demonic aggression. It's just a passionate aggression, a fed up aggression. You know?
Okay. And I've seen some of your posts and I know how you feel about a lot of things. So do you feel like people mistake that passion and the power behind your passion and say that you're aggressive or things of that
negative nature? Yeah.
Okay. So just to clear it up, right? That's passion and power because it is fueling purpose. Your purpose is to make sure people get involved and do what they want to do. So what is fueling that aggression?
What's fueling it is, it's a lot of things. One of the things is like not too long ago, I see somebody complain about how dirty Compton is. But as I'm standing there in my store, I see them throw some paper out the window You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. We all litter from time to time.
I do not
but
litter.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes, it might be a policy here and there, but it was just somebody that I see complain all the time. They like threw the paper out the window, and I'm like, didn't they just complain about how dirty Compton is? I'm like, all right, but it's just a lot of things that just fuel the aggression. Just looking at the low voter turnout, like. How can we have tens of thousands go vote for a president, and then we got a few thousand vote for our local election, which affects us
more
right then and there,
immediately.
Immediately, exactly, and that brings on some of the aggression. The other aggression is it's like how some folks are pretty much they use the movement for self-gain.
We've had these conversations before behind closed doors. We say people come and use Compton for a come up.
Yeah.
They use the name, the energy of the people, the city itself. And then when they get to where they want to be or obtain the status that they want, then we don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah, we don't. The work is not being put in like it was before.
Yeah. All right. So, never end the story. We hope it will come to an end with some positive results, but it takes more than Chris and the same individuals doing the work for that to happen. So,
yeah, it takes all of us.
All of us. What are your 3 most important values, and why are these values important to you?
Being vocal, creative, and probably the other one would be passive.
Explain that.
The passive. A lot of times people are like, why you let people do that to you? Why this and that? Sometimes I'll just go back and just reserve and sit in the cut. Because sometimes you might have to be passive to see the person's angle if they are trying to be genuine or are they trying to get over it.
Okay. So you're using it as a tool to figure out how to interact with people and what their intent is. I got you. Okay. Now, do you feel like your actions are in alignment with your values that you just mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel like what you do is in alignment with that so that way people could get a more clear vision of who you are, what you do, and how your values show up in the work that you do?
Like as far as the creative, I sit and try to figure out ways of getting people involved. Even if it is like through my lies, if I'm real vocal and real aggressive. But now you done tuned in because I'm mad, I'm talking ish, and I got your attention now.
Right.
And it moves. I feel that it moves people. Because now it creates people to talk. Did you say that negative? Or did you? You might say it was negative to the next person to go watch it and be like, nah, I saw something different. But for the most part, I would guess just my daily things that I do, just my store, my business. It's all created around just trying to get people engaged and move along. Some people think, oh, you just sell Compton shirts. Like, the Compton shirts is really the bait to get your attention,
right?
So you can know about this and learn about certain things. We have over 100,000 residents, and maybe only, let's just say, 2,500 know it's a charter city, that we actually got bylaws. So.
Did y'all know that? I bet y'all didn't. But if you are paying attention, Compton is a charter city. We do have bylaws and we have a weak mayor system. So people need to understand how your local government works in order to be impactful. So All right, Chris, he's baiting them in. His lies be popping. And if you follow him on social media, he is very passionate, but those who know him knows where it's coming from. And when you're voicing your concerns and you want people to get involved or you're just tired of the violence, I think people are misunderstanding your purpose and what you're saying. So that's another reason why I want you to come on so people can get to know you a little bit better.
Right.
And know that there's no ill intent. You like, look, I need y'all to get together.
For real.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. So here's another question. And this question is about finding center and peace within yourself. So how do you feel about getting quiet, listening deeply and patiently to your inner wisdom? And how often do you do this?
Several times a day.
Okay.
My inner wisdom is pretty much God. You know, sometimes you got to tune things out and shut the world up in order to hear what God is telling you.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think that when God speaks to you, it's like this voice, like, hey, I am God and listen to me. You know, it don't work like that. And those that know, they'll understand. And those that don't know, you know, sometimes you have to just shut everything down and just open up your ears and you will hear it. And it's not going to be this strong voice coming down. And it doesn't work like that. But I do it a lot of times a day. I like just shut down and just get my energy. You know what I mean?
Get your energy. Oh, there we go. Another inner guru over here. Okay, so yeah, because I keep talking about my inner G series. So I'm looking at everybody, see what type of G are they today. Are you an inner genius? Is it your inner gangster? Is it your inner goddess? Or is it your inner guru? And usually when I hear people speak from a place of wisdom, to me, that energy that they're bringing forth is their inner guru because they're using the wisdom of experiences to share with other people to enlighten them.
Yeah.
And so that's that G right there. This that G right there. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to leave the inner gangster. We're going to set that one to the side.
No, don't worry about it. We're going to say inner gangster, not in hood bound, but inner gangster in, okay, let me be strategic and just tap into a different power. You ever met someone who's just real quiet and you're like, I need you to step up and just do something. It was like, and they're real meek. And so they're like, you ever seen like Beyonce? She like had Sasha Fierce and then Beyonce. That's the energy she's tapping into. Some people need to tap into their inner gangster and like buck up and get it up and get it going.
I do it at times. Sometimes you gotta know how to control it.
You gotta control it. It's a
just don't break the lever.
Yeah. So yes, I'm not saying going out there and bang on anybody. What I'm saying is looking at
I like that. It's a nice concept.
Thank you. See, I got a compliment from Chris. Okay, that's good. Now, when I get compliments from people who are in the field, it makes me feel good about myself. Okay, so we have another question. I think we have two more. What do you need to adjust in yourself to create the peace that you desire?
Temperament.
Explain to everyone why you need to adjust your temperament.
Because sometimes it can go from 0 to prison, just like that.
Okay, so that's a quick trip to 0 to prison.
Yeah, because I know, you know, just from 0 to prison, I didn't let my temperament and my impulse allow me to find myself in trouble sometimes.
Okay, so how do you bring yourself back?
Pray.
Okay.
Start talking to God.
Okay. There's a saying that says that you don't know true peace unless you know true violence. Like you know anger, right? And you can't know peace unless you know what anger and violence is because you've worked so hard to calm that down.
Yeah. You know, like I tell people that is, you know, it's like it's crazy that you say that is because everyone knows their capacity for violence. Some people can act like they tough and they think that their violence is there. But you know, everybody has a different capacity of violence. And, you know, growing up and just growing up in these surroundings, and actually just right across from here is like an alleyway that I used to run through for years. And, you know, those in those places, in those situations, it teaches it teaches you to have a capacity of violence. And I remember at a time I didn't even have a capacity. It was like no cap. You know, it was like the cap was until I found myself sitting in the cell, you know, eating Salisbury steak and a piece of bread, the little TV dinner they give you at the Compton substation. But just saying all that to say that, you know, some people, they have to learn their capacities, you know, so you can be able to control it.
That's that knob you was talking about earlier. Like, don't break the lever.
Yeah, because if you break it, then look, you know.
Okay. All right. So we have one more question before we go into our break. Which is worse, Chris, failing or never trying?
Never trying, because like fail. I love to fail all the time. Like I done failed so many times. How many times you fell on your bike? You got back up and you got on it.
Right.
You know, because if a lot of people say, what is that saying? Oh, I forgot it. But basically it's saying that it says failure isn't an option. For me it's different. Failure is an option because if I don't fail, I don't know how to correct it the next time around.
Right.
So I need to fail. So I don't mind failing.
Okay. And guess what? If you don't try, you don't fail. So you can learn what you need to. Okay. Ow. Okay. I swear I'm not gonna I'm not gonna swear that. So that breaks us. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. And that was just healing session 1. So those are light questions. So when we get to healing session 2,
we're gonna get hit.
We're gonna look at the powers. Get just a little bit, just a little bit, not too much.
All right.
Okay. Well, we are going to take a break, and we have our sponsored ad coming up, and then we'll be back for healing session 2. This episode of the Intentional Healing Podcast is sponsored by VCH Prosperities, an affirmative apparel line that allows you to make a statement without saying a word. Let your fashion do the talking. Follow us on Instagram at VCH Prosperities. That's VCHPROSPERITEES. Welcome back. So I got Chris Bailey here, the Compton Activist, right? Passionate, powerful, about purpose. Here we go. So, Chris, we are going into our healing session 2, which is reclaiming your power.
All right. The woosah.
The woosah. Yeah. So these questions are for you to just let us know what it's like for you in your power and how you use it and how it shows up for yourself. Okay?
All right.
You ready for the first question?
Yeah.
All right. This is how I get ready for a question on folded paper. Okay. How do you move past unpleasant thoughts or experiences?
I just shut down. Like I just shut myself down and talk to God. That's about it. I just shut down whatever's going on at the time. Just start talking to God and try to refocus.
How long does it usually take you to refocus?
I don't know. It just depends on what the situation is.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. And the reason I asked you that is because I know a lot of times, a lot of us experience a lot of tragedy or grief, and a lot of us deal with it differently, right? And when you've experienced like difficult situations or you've seen things, it kind of sits in your spirit and it sits with you. So I'm always interested in how people move past it when those things come to the forefront. Like, how do you say you pray and then it might take you a moment depending on the situation?
Yeah, I'll just have to pretty much move my chess pieces around and in my mind, you know, because I look at life as a big old chess game, and I just move my chess pieces around. And if you know, I can see sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I can see like 10 moves ahead. Like, oh no, yeah, let's shut this all the way down.
Okay.
You know,
what has been the most difficult thing for you to navigate for yourself?
Probably getting along with people who I know ain't right, but I have to figure out how to manage. You know, just try to manage it somehow. Okay. But that's probably one of my, you know, because before it's growing up, like I said, in this environment, when you don't get along with certain people, the first measure would be violence. Because that's what we was taught. You know, it's like those things I say, oh, get down where you mad at. But really, like, get down where you mad at is an impulse. And, you know, that ain't cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, get down where you mad at means we gonna handle this right here, fist to fist, right here. We used to call it holding court in the street.
Yeah.
That means that, and I love the way you described it, like that's impulsive behavior. That's not, you know, that's when you're not in control of your emotion. That means you're just gonna fight. So if I had an issue with you and we face to face, we just gonna get down. So that's basically what it means. But I love the way Chris is saying that that is an impulsive way to handle situations.
Yeah.
And so what did you find will be a more controlled way to handle the situation when you're dealing with people you don't necessarily have a have a liking for?
I don't know. Just probably just talk and have an understanding. You know.
Okay, but
because we all gotta have an understanding at some point. You know.
Yeah, hopefully, you know. But you're a bigger man than me, because if I don't like you, I ain't come nowhere near you. I try.
I do that too. I stay away from people that I don't like. But what if it's people that you have to work with?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So we all been there. So basically, being cordial to get the job done.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Okay, Chris, what parts of yourself have you rejected?
That I rejected. I would say the evil side.
Okay. And how did you do that?
Getting to know God. You know, I didn't believe in God for a long time. So maybe about 6 years ago.
Okay.
About 2015. But just getting to know God, but you know, just rejecting the evil thoughts, and you know, because I learned that every evil act starts with the thought. So you got to reject the thought first, you know.
Okay. Look at that. Let me tell you something. For those of you, we call that cognitive reframing, which means that you have a thought that comes in, and what you do, you kind of restructure that thought so it doesn't become a behavior. Yeah. So you're good.
It's easy to carry out.
Yes, but it's harder to control. And
yeah, it really is.
Look at this. We got some growth going on in this seat, in this area right here. Go ahead, Chris. That's good. Because that means you're not acting on impulse anymore. You're like, let me take a step back. Let me think this through so I can behave differently. That takes a lot. You're a strong man, because that takes a lot to do.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen all of the time, but most of the time, you know. But it's just one of those things that, you know, shit, we all got to do, you know.
Gang. Okay. What parts of yourself are you trying to reclaim, and how does this look?
I'm trying to reclaim to be more a little more outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I did begin to be outspoken and to be vocal, I kept so much backlash behind it. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of made me kind of just cringe up and just like, so now I've been like holding a lot of things in, and it's like I need to reclaim to be back more vocal. But you know, like a lot of other people know, just working here in Compton, trying to create unity and voter engagement and just all this stuff, it wears you down mentally, you know. So I really want to reclaim just to be back more vocal, but in a way where people don't find it as aggressive or
Mm-hmm.
being attacked or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. Because sometimes the truth can make somebody else feel like they're being attacked. You know what I mean?
Right, 'cause they're not in a place to receive it.
Yeah.
Okay. How have you thought about how you will reclaim that? Like what you would do, what actions you will take?
Be honest, nah.
Okay, that's still that's an answer, but
To
yeah.
be honest, nah. I'm
Okay.
still trying to figure. That's where the confusion come in back in part one.
Okay. All right. Well, if you ever need somebody to bounce ideas off of, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm being for real. Okay. All right. Because we need people who are passionate, but I like the way that you're repurposing and you're taking a look at yourself and you're looking at your strengths and areas where you need improvement, because that is what makes a person a profound leader. Because you take a step back and you reevaluate what
Right.
worked and what didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good leadership trait. Okay. So, Chris, how do you define power?
Knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it knowledge in action or just knowledge in self?
Both. I mean, you gotta understand the knowledge within yourself to be able to present the knowledge in action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta, it's just like somebody trying to tell you something. It's like somebody telling you something that they don't even know nothing about, but they trying to tell you something. So it's like, you got to get the knowledge, power is always in knowledge. It's, the mind can beat the muscle all day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, what's that, David and Goliath, huh? Absolutely. And I like the way you said how people will say something, but they may not have the knowledge of it. It always brings me back to women's rights. How the people making the decision don't even have like uteruses and all the good parts. Well, I'm not saying you guys don't have good parts, but you understand what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's just like, how can you speak on something you have no knowledge of or any, so I like that, because a lot of people will come into the city. I've seen people do this, come into Compton and say, oh, I'm gonna run for mayor. Well, we haven't seen these people in the streets anywhere, but they're thinking, oh, I could just do it, but they have no knowledge of the community, what the community needs and all those different things. So I think that is a good way for you to define power, is just that knowledge. So
yeah, how can you run for mayor if you don't have a relationship with the community groups?
absolutely. Where they do that at?
You feel me? That's like Putin running for president in America.
Oh, and it probably could. We don't know we don't know the citizenship status of a lot of these people. It might be some stuff we don't know. That's why y'all up in our business. How do you use your power?
I just use my power. If I got a power, I don't even know what type of power that I really have.
Your knowledge is your power.
Yeah. I'll say I use, I guess my skills will be my power as well, but I just kind of just use what I have to enlighten those, get involved. I use my knowledge to try to talk to like younger guys that I see I didn't walk the same path, or, just in essence, just to try to, whatever it is going to help our community.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if you could do one thing with your power to help the community, like if you could just name one thing, what would that be?
It would be to unify.
Okay. Unity is important.
Yeah, it would be to unify on all levels, from the gangs to the old political groups, the younger political groups, the council members, the people who work inside of city government. You know, a lot of times people blame the mayors and the council people, but you know, what about the internal controls, the people that works in these departments, and you know, what type of supervisors are there, and what type of workers do we have? Are you clocking back in when in lunch when you're supposed to, or just all type of stuff? You know, um, just unify everybody, because it seems like everybody is just mad at each other. You know,
You can't have change if everybody is not working together. So to unify is important. I like that. Okay. So here's a good question. So when we're thinking about what you do and what you stand for, right? And also your spiritual self, because you have cultivated this spiritual aspect of yourself that's been able to help you navigate a lot of tough situations. So how does God show up in your life?
Just talk to me and show me things and give me thoughts. A lot of times, thoughts that come in our mind, it's not our thoughts, especially if it's a thought that we know is right. A lot of times, it's the thoughts that God is putting in our minds. So, you know, it's just the thoughts shutting down and letting it come in.
Okay. So you let God come in and be present so that way you know what to do.
Yeah. Shows me things. Certain things can happen, you know, and I see and I be like, oh, that's what he meant. Or, you know, certain things. You know, is this real?
Yes, absolutely. Real. God is real.
It's real.
And God shows up for people differently. And I always tell people, respect people's spiritual relationship with God, because the way God shows up for Chris may not be the same way God shows up for me.
Exactly.
But like Chris said earlier, when you get quiet and you just allow God to come in, then you'll know what to do. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, so how would you describe? I'm sorry, that's what happens when I.
Happy moment.
How would you describe your relationship with yourself?
Oh. It's a constant struggle. Wanting to do right. Enticed by wanting to do wrong when you see other people ahead, but you know they living wrong. You know, it's like even just getting to know yourself. You know, because everybody think they know who they are. You know, and a lot of us may know who we are, but every day you learning a new part of who you are. You know, that if someone was to say that, you know, I mean, say that they know themselves fully, really you don't, because certain situations can make you not be yourself. You know, it's just like if there was $1 million over there on the ground, you know it belongs to somebody, but it's $1 million though.
What you gonna do with it?
You know, but you can easily pick it up. You know, so some people be like, I'm 100% holy, and you know, I'm Christian or Harvard. You know, you see that $1 million, are you still gonna be that person? Money make a lot of change,
don't it? And I like the way that you use that as an example, because they always say a measure of a person is what they do when no one is looking. And that is a great example. Like, what would you do if you saw $1 million? I'd be scared. I'd be thinking it's a sting. Like, why is this money here? Nah, it be that ink stuff on it. I don't want to do no fingerprints at all. But I understand what you're saying. Like, do people fully know themselves, or are we always growing and evolving?
Yeah, learning ourselves, and I hope we always growing and evolving. It's like I was talking to one of my older homies the other day, and he said, "Man, if you still doing the same stuff you was doing 20 years ago, you's a retard." Simple as that.
Which means you have not grown.
You have not evolved.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what about you? How do you feel you've changed from what's today, 2021?
2021.
So let's say 2000 to 2021.
Ooh. A lot. I was just explaining that to my fiance. It's like in 2020, I was a lot younger, of course. I was, man, way a lot younger. Just for instance, like a lot of people grow up in the hood, right? Mm-hmm. And just for say gang members or however, you have grown men still hanging with kids. You 29 years old, you still hanging with kids that's 16, 17, 18 because you can order them around.
Right.
Just evolved. I evolved just looking beyond certain things because we was taught that this is what it is. This is what you do until you see something different. So I did see something different and began to evolve away from just a hood mentality, because a lot of people, in Compton, we suffer from PTSD, hood mentality, like I say, you still got men that's like 50 years old, still running around. All they hustling for is to put a car together or certain stuff like that, and that's not evolving. But I have evolved from a lot of that because back then, as I said, I was 29 years of age, and the only thing I was really hustling to do was clothes, cars, and BS, versus I should have been hustling and to be trying to put away for kids, college educations and whatnot, and things like that.
Yep. The things we learn as we grow, right? As we evolve, we learn that sometimes we don't have, big homies who are steering us the right way and teaching us certain things, right? We have the gentlemen who are older still hanging with the little homies and not teaching them to get out the game, teaching them how to just stay in the game,
how to get out. Yeah, because they don't even know.
Because they haven't evolved.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting. And as we get ready, I have a couple more questions as we start to wrap up. I used to work in drug treatment, and we always notice that when some person gets sober, they are stuck in that stage of development that they were in when they first started their addiction. Because they weren't able to evolve because they were in their addiction. Yeah. So let's say they start using when they're like 14, and here they are 44. And now they're sober and they're clean. What we notice is that sometimes they still act like they're 14, 15 years old because they weren't able to evolve.
Yeah. And so, just like even addiction, even it's not even a drug addiction. It could be addiction to selling drugs. That was my addiction, just selling drugs. And I never used them. It was just my addiction of the lifestyles, my addiction of what was going on. I could blow 5,000 right now and be like, I ain't tripping. I'm gonna get it back tomorrow, or I'll get it back in an hour. But it was just the addiction of the lifestyle that really ended up to be nothing. It was just all a facade.
All a facade. And it keeps people stuck where they can't evolve.
Yeah.
It's a hard knock life. Okay. That's my Jay-Z reference. I love Jay-Z. Okay.
Yeah, he's dope.
Jay-Z is one of those people I've seen evolve from when he first started to where he is now. And when we talk about the evolution of a person, of a man, it's always in a way that they show up and engage in conversation, right? When you sit with a man who's been here, but now they're there, the conversation is different because you all are now speaking from a place of wisdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of strength and a different type of power. And not a power where you feel like you need to control everything, but a power is that you control yourself.
Right.
And so it's always beautiful to speak to men who have evolved because you all bring a different type of knowledge to the table.
Yeah,
So
I liked it. Politics Usual.
That's
one of my favorites.
Okay, wait. Okay, what's your favorite song from Jay-Z before the Black Album?
It was this song. It was him and Jazz. Not Hawaiian Sophie.
I thought Hawaiian Sophie, where he had the little flat top.
I think it was on that album, but it was him and Jazz. It was a guy named Jazz. It was Jay-Z and Jazz.
Right.
I can't think of the name, but I liked it. It was dope. They was like going back and forth.
Okay.
And forget the name of it, but that was the one. It was Jay-Z and Jazz.
As soon as you said Jazz, I thought Hawaiian Sophie because he had that little shirt on. Who's old enough to remember all of that? Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have me wondering what song it is if it's not Hawaiian Sophie because that's okay. Thank you. All right. Are there any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners and viewers with?
Should just be great every day, and even though if you fall, should just pick yourself back up and just keep on moving. You gonna fall, you gonna fail. Everybody that you see that's in the glitz and glamour, they didn't fail. You just didn't see all of the bumps and bruises up under them Versace's and Amiri jeans and all of that. But just keep trying, just keep pushing, just keep trying, no matter what, just don't stop.
Don't stop. All right. Where can our listeners and viewers find you?
You can find me on my Instagram. It'll be at Compton Activist. And then the other is at Compton Rider 1. That's Compton RIDA with the 1. That's the unfiltered page. But it's positive as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chris, thank you. That wasn't that bad, was it?
Nah, it was my first podcast.
Oh, really? Oh, we done brought Chris in. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for having me.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right. So as we get ready to close it out, I'd like to thank you all for sharing space with us today. Life is short. Please try to live every day filled with power, grit, and grace. Live life on purpose. Until next time. Bye.